So have you ever been in the middle of a build and realized, oh my God, this is not gonna work? Well, check this video out. I will show you how to make a cabinet work for that space. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you right now is don't freak out if you've built something and it doesn't fit. You're a woodworker. You can make it work, okay? You could customize anything. It's just gonna take some time. You gotta understand the steps to do so. So the name of this video is called Frankenbase. I have to cut up what I already made to fit in the existing space of my laundry room build. Whether it's a mistake or an oversight, this is the fun part of it all. A typical standardized box is a box is a box is a box. But boy, when you run into some obstacles, now you really have to put on your thinking cap. Before we go upstairs to the laundry room where this cabinet is gonna live, what I did is I made a piece or a template that is the exact dimension of the overall bottom of the cabinet, including the sides. So let's head upstairs where the magic begins. Here's where the fun begins. I brought up the blind cabinet. I'll show you how to build one of these. It maximizes the space. There's no dead space here. We don't want any. Okay, and that 2-door cabinet is gonna bang up against here. But I have this. And when we did the original drawing, Jason and I were talking about this 2-door cabinet here, base cabinet. And I said, don't worry about it. I will alter the cabinet as I build it out. So I have to have this obstacle stay where it is. And, but I want to have, because the 3 doors, the same size, if that makes sense to you. So this is why I made the template. I didn't want to haul the base cabinet up here. I don't need to. So I'm going to slip it in here and everything is working out perfect. Now, what I want to accomplish with this in altering the base cabinet is still have a very rigid cabinet, okay? But I want full access in case something has to happen, a cleaning of the dryer vent, or, you know, the maneuvering of the washer and dryer. What I'm gonna basically do is cut a little door here, and I'm gonna do a full 3/4 back. We'll get back to the shop, I'll show you how it's done, and I'll show you the layout. I measured from here to here to get the proper measurement. I incorporated down here the 18 millimeter sides, okay? And I measured from here to here because I'm thinking about it. I want, in case I need maintenance done and I hire somebody to come do the dry vents, I want to have enough room to remove this, and I don't want it to be a pain. And the next thing I have to do is I measured from the very back of the cabinet to here, because now I'm gonna cut the side, and then I'm gonna take the back countertop nailer and bring it forward to this line, so I still have those nailers, those spanners to create a rigid cabinet. So this is the stuff that energizes me, because most people say, oh, I messed up. No, there's no messing up. I love this stuff because what happens is I lay awake sometimes at night thinking about this. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but the one thing you should always do is if you know you've made a mistake or you can't figure something out in the shop, walk away. Take a day, think about it. Because there's always a workaround. And hopefully this video will help you get into that mode. Now that I have my template, you could call it a storyboard, I just have to take a few measurements, take the cabinet apart, and make a few alterations. So we're gonna take the countertop nailer and move it forward to that line we measured up in the laundry room. We're going to cut this side from the measurement we made, and then we're gonna remove the 2 wall nailers in the back and replace it with a solid piece of 3/4 that we cut to that dimension we measured upstairs. That whole piece will become our wall nailer. So we just did a recent video on the 2 types of ways of assembling cabinet, crown staple versus screws and dominoes. Well, guess what? Here's where I love using the domino, because I don't use wood glue when I'm putting together pre-finish. It makes it kind of crazy to do so because it doesn't stick. But guess what I can do now? I can take this whole thing apart and customize it to work around all those obstacles we have upstairs. So as I'm pulling the dominoes out, I also want to talk about orientation. We know this is the back wall here. So I need to measure from here. This is the side. That's going to go toward the washer dryer. And I got to take the measurement from here to here. This is my front edge, and this is where this template is here. So that's the thing you always have to remember, is make sure your orientation is proper. So this is 280 from the back wall, and I'll just transfer it over here. This is why the track saw is phenomenal, because I can lay that right down on my line, and I'll mark it here. I always circle it, and I'll mark it down here, and we'll make the cut. This measurement from the inside of the cabinet, because that's where the new back is going to go. It's 3/4 instead of 1/4 inch. It's going to go 345 to exactly where we need it. But we have to calculate the height off the deck to the top, and that's easy. The overall height of the cabinet, it's going to sit right on top of the bottom, which is 18 millimeters. The overall height is 768. So subtract 18 from what? 768, and you got, if my math is correct, 750 millimeters. So we're not going to use all the domino mortises that we've created, but I want to get the dominoes in place and do a quick dry fit for the sides to make sure it's all right. So here's the first piece that we cut down. I'm going to bring it in, and everything still lines up at the front. And now I'll just try the other side that goes to the east wall. Okay, so a little wobbly, it's okay. We're going to take the other nailer and put it in afterwards. I want to throw a few screws in right now on these 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So I got edge banding. This was living back here, and now because I want to make sure this comes together, I'm going to place it just like this with the front edge where I've edge banded, because if somebody opens up and looks up, they'll see a nice clean look. So hopefully you've followed along to this point. Now, this is what I was talking about. I cut this down, and now this is going to be the back you see looking in from the front, but this will also be my nailer to the wall, and I'll put some screws in here, turn it upside down, put some screws in here, and over here. Chris, follow me over here. You don't have to do this, especially if you're on a job site. But what I did is I always, on the inside, I edge banded this just to make it look good, because they're Mary Ann's cabinets for the laundry room. So that makes for a really sturdy cabinet. We've cut out that area for what? The dryer vent. But before we haul it upstairs, let's just take a few measurements. Okay, yep, that's correct, 280, and inside was 345. And you'll see where this 3/4 material will actually slide underneath on top of the toe kick, so there's plenty of room around the dryer vent. Okay, we got the cabinet upstairs in the laundry room. Brum, bum, drum roll, please. Okay, so I get it on the toe kick. It's sliding. It's sliding. It's up against the wall. Front edges here line up. And we got a win, win, win. So it worked. And the big thing about this, before we go down and do a wrap up in the shop, is don't ever freak out. You can always make things work. That's why you use dominoes and screws for assembly. Yes, we're gonna have a full installation video. We're also gonna have a video, because I'm gonna prime these downstairs in the shop, but shoot my final coats up here, and I'm gonna show you how I tape it and everything. There's lots coming. We have countertop, which we've already started. You've seen the glue ups if you've been following the SedgeTool channel. So, a lot to do on this, but this is one of the workarounds. I got another one on the other side of the washer dryer. I'll show you that. And we get 2 drawer box builds going at the same time. So, let's go back downstairs and wrap this up. Boy, that Sharpie smells good, Chris. Woo! Okay, everybody. Hey, you get it? It's a simple template, but I wrote something on here. If you haven't subscribed to the SedgeTool channel, please do so. That way there, Chris and I can keep doing what we're doing and create killer content. And as we wrap, oh, I got a question for you. Here's a question for you, because we're having a chili cook-off here in the SedgeTool house tomorrow. This is Chris's idea. What's your favorite chili? Is it one you get out and about? Is it one you make? And tell us in the comments below. So if you've hung out this long in the video, you know what's up. Be positive, stay sharp, and we mean, whoa, wicked sharp.